What is up, guys? Wolfgang here. So today, I wanted to talk about the Rite of the Nine drops you've all been getting. So first, let's just not touch on this. It's just prepping for Edge of Fate. But I wanted to catch up with you guys, see how you guys are doing with rolls, and show some of the rolls I've got. Now, Rite of the Nine weapons, although they will not really be tier 5 in Edge of Fate, they'll still be decent guns. I don't think that these will be replaced quickly. Maybe some of them will, but not all of them at once. So I still wanted to farm for them, get some good rolls. So here's what I've got. The first one I want to touch on is the Judgment. And partially because I got this roll here, which apparently is a really, really good PvP roll. Not adept, but I don't really care too much about that. I have used a version of this one. I think it's an adept one that I got later. And I quite like it in PvP. Even though I'm not a PvP main, I've enjoyed it, so can't complain about that. Let's touch on the other judgments as we go. Here's the one I have used. And you can see there 23 kills. Lone Wolf Precision Instrument. I know a lot of PvP players say Slide Shot is probably, or is better. But I am not great at PvP, so the extra aim assist from Lone Wolf is nice. I got a keep away swap, so that's also pretty cool. Really good roll for PvP if you're interested. I can at least on my side recommend this one. I've got a couple PvE rolls, probably just cope, because I don't particularly love this gun, but as far as stasis weapons go, I think this might be my favorite till now, or at least stasis primaries. This first one, I actually don't have a time payload hand cannon in my vault, except Mill Judgment now. So I wanted to keep this one around. Demolitionist time payload. Now, there is also the option for headstone time payload, and I had that gun. I actually deleted it today, because I tested it out in open world, and it felt really bad. Even though the time payload part is cool, if the secondary, like the explosion of time payload, gets the kill, even if it's quote-unquote precision, it will not create the headstone stasis crystal. So it's really bad, in my opinion, with headstone. Specifically, time payload headstone is a bad combination that I would not recommend. However, with demo, I think it has a spot. It could be decent. I mean, it's it's demolition. It's more grenade energy, 10% per kill. I guess that will change in Edge of Fate depending on your grenade stat, but in general, demolition is never bad. So that's one roll I kept. The other roll is the one I have enjoyed a bit more. I also used this one in open world, and it felt much better as, well, we got Headstone Paracausal Affinity. Now, if you don't know, Paracausal Affinity gives you, I believe it's a 20% buff if you kill something, in this case, with a darkness damage. So the weapon itself, since it's stasis, it'll count, as well as, killing them with stasis crystals or stasis grenades, stasis melees, it'll all count to giving this buff to the weapon, and it feels pretty good. So I can highly recommend this one for PvE. This is definitely, if I need a stasis hand cannon, this will be the one I'll probably gravitate to. Those are all the judgments I have. Moving on, Relentless, pulse rifle. This is the high impact frame. Most people don't like this one, and numerically it does less damage than the Aisha's Care, which is the 2-round burst version of this pulse rifle. The only reason I don't have an Aisha's, or I think I might have one for infusion right here. Yep, that's infusion material. I don't really like their recoil pattern, and it might just be because I haven't gotten like a good barrel on it. I mean, this one's just infusion. I know I had a good one before. Yeah, Slugs Hatchling is the one I had, and it's the roll I would recommend for PvE, as it doesn't really get me much else. Maybe Golden Tricorn has its spot, but not really. So I used to have an Aisha's Care, but I didn't like the recoil pattern. I much prefer these 4-round or 3-round burst pulses. I'm actually not sure how many they shoot, but I'm going to guess 4. And so I wanted to get some decent rolls for this one, and I got 2. Well, I technically got all the rolls I want, but I would like to get an adept of one of them, which we'll see in a bit. So my first roll that I wanted was Firefly Hatchling, explosions and threadlings going around, real cool. Also got the Elemental Honing swap, which a lot of people were talking about, as you can proc ×2 really easily with this gun, since you'll do strand damage with the gun and then solar damage with Firefly. I don't think it's worth it. I would much rather hatchling, but I have the option if I really want to. And well, I got light mag and arrowhead and ricochet. Really good perks for, well, barrels and mags, I guess. Now, the other role that I'm happy with right now that I have is Slice Hatchling. It's a good combo. It's the Aisha's Care role that I was talking about, basically. And I don't see myself even really using this. We'll see how the meta changes in Edge of Fate. Right now, I am firmly into the double special lifestyle. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. If GMs get really slowed down with the power squish and all that, maybe I'll use this more. Now, the role I really want to get for Relentless is this Terror Hatchling. As realistically for Hatchling, you're going to still be going for precision kills anyways. Tear will weaken more than Slice can, because Slice, you got to use your class ability to proc it, and I believe you can at most tag 5 enemies with it, and then it has like a cooldown. Even if the cooldown is just how fast you can get your class ability back. Unless you're a hunter, that takes a while. So I think Tear will actually be better on Relentless, and I would like to get an Adept one, just to say that I have one. I'm also not particularly a fan of my Barrel, Mag, and Masterwork for Relentless, or at least this specific one. So I will be farming for another Relentless. As of this week, it is Prophecy with the extra drops. So yeah, I'll be farming for this as well. We'll see what Ludapalooza brings. I might also, spend manifolds for shinies or something. I don't know what Ludapalooza is going to be exactly. But yeah, this role is the one I would recommend for Relentless. And lastly, for the kinetic slot, we have new Pacific Epitaph. Now, this gun, I don't see it being... Well, it's definitely not great right now, as a lot of people will prefer Lost Signal, the area denial frame, over this. But if those get nerfed and rocket sidearms get nerfed to the ground, these might have a chance to come back. So I wanted to get a couple rolls because it is the only stasis waveframe that I know of, at least. And of course, I had to get the demo chain reaction roll. I'm glad that I got a reload masterwork there. And something I've seen a lot of people saying as well, aside from demo chain reaction, redirection is decent on these. I think I have it. I have one somewhere. Also wanted a lead from gold chain reaction, as I just like the ammo economy with lead from gold. So I kept this one. And here's the one that I was talking about with redirection. So I'm not sure how much I'll use this. This is basically a copium roll, but if recycled energy gets big buffs, because right now it's not worth using, to be honest. Well, we'll get into detail a bit later. I don't think recycled energy is worth using on a waveframe for sure. But if it gets buffs, it could be good. And I have redirection on it as well to do, at least some damage to elites and majors and mini bosses. So yeah, it's pretty much a copium roll. But yeah, those are all the weapons for the energy slot. Let's go to, or for the kinetic slot, let's go to the energy slot. And you can see I have a lot more rolls for these because I like these more. Let's start with what I think has been my most used weapon from this event. No Survivors. Now, this is the first SMG to get Heal Clip Incandescent. So I wanted it really badly. Even though I don't like SMGs, I was furious that my first craftable weapon was Callus Mini Tool. I really did not like it. I came into the game like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, and it just did not feel good to me. I would rather use an AR. At this point, it's more like I'd rather use rocket sidearms, but regardless, the point is, No Survivors gets Heal Clip Incandescent. And it feels really good, in my opinion. I like using it with the Bolt Charge Titan build, as well as, well, I don't really use it on Prismatic because Consecration doesn't really allow for much SMG play. Or it's not optimal. But with the Bolt Charge build, I really like this. And I'm happy I also have a Attrition Orbs roll. I did have a shiny version with Attrition Orbs and no Heal Clip. I preferred to reduce the amount of vault space used, even though I'm in a really good spot with 450 out of 700. I preferred to not keep using a lot of vault space, or reduce the amount of vault space I need. So I deleted that shiny roll, no regrets. Got a really good roll here. I wish I had a better barrel. I would love arrowhead or a small bore. But these are, I mean, it's PvE. You won't notice the barrel difference much at all. Moving forward, I have a PvP no survivors. This is the best one I've gotten. I wanted to get a good one with target lock and a good one with Master of Arms, which I believe a lot of people are saying is better. But I wanted a good target lock one. And this is as good as I've gotten. I've farmed an insane amount of hours in Ghost of the Deep first encounter, and I haven't gotten much better than this in terms of target lock. And yeah, that's a PvP roll to be very specific. Here is, at least by one of my PvP friends, he calls this the 5 out of 5, which I'm glad I have and I can show off to him. I have not even used it. I'm not sure if I like SMGs in PvP. I gotta try it out soon, see if I'm gonna keep this. But from my understanding, really good roll right here. And I don't know what this one is. Oh yes, so I had a previous no survivors with heal clip incandescent and rewind rounds, which I know some people are saying is a really good option. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just not my preference because I would rather use heal clip. But I had it with, I believe, I had it with light mag, and that was the only change. I'm not sure, but once I got this roll over here, with the attrition orb swap, I decided to delete that previous version. And then right after I got this really nice one, I got that roll here. This is my PvE 5 out of 5. You know, arrowhead, flared magwell, heal clip incandescent with a reload masterwork is just perfect. So probably just going to keep this there for copium. I believe attrition orbs isn't really worth it on no survivors. So if I mean, I still got to try attrition orbs on it. I've only really used heal clip. If I end up not thinking attrition orbs is worth it, then I will probably delete this version I'm looking at right now and keep the 5 out of 5. It's this one here. And, you know, I'll be happy because I really love this roll specifically. Or it's, you know, it's my 5 out of 5. So we'll see how that goes. Now to Prosecutor. This one was interesting. This was the weapon I was the least interested in, or least excited for. And yet here I am using it in PvP, getting 216 kills. And for me, that's a lot because I don't enjoy PvP most of the time. But I got this roll, and I think it might be, well, close to, if not, I guess it's my PvP 5 out of 5. Or it's a really good PvP roll is what I'm trying to say. You know, target lock to give you a little more forgiveness on your precision. Keep away just helps with reload and I think stability. Range accuracy, reload. Okay, it helps a lot of stuff. Ricochet rounds is just always good. And in my case, well, I have two really good barrels. I have Arrowhead, which is the one I'm currently preferring. As what I told my friend was, if I can't hit the shots, what good is having more range, if you know what I mean? So for now, I'm using Arrowhead. It reduces the recoil quite a lot, and it feels really nice. I really enjoyed this gun in PvP. Especially when in the Iron Banner week, what was it, like 2 weeks ago or 3 at this point? This felt amazing, and this is how I farmed Iron Banner, got nothing from it, even though I didn't really need anything, but I was trying to get a gun to show off to the PvP friends, Criminal's Dagger. Regardless, if I get good, I can swap to small bore to have, you know, a bit more range and stability, I guess. So I think this is, you know, a really great roll. I think I had a decent shiny one. Might be down here. Nope, no shiny. But yeah, I've really been enjoying Prosecutor and PvP. Now, in terms of PvE, I don't think it'll be bad, but Pyroelectric Propellant. I guess I have all of them over here, don't I? Yep. I think Pyroelectric Propellant is just better because of jolting feedback instead of volt shot. As it's a lot easier to just, you know, keep shooting and eventually proc a jolt rather than waiting for a kill and then reload and then proc jolt. I mean, it depends on the kind of content you're playing, but I'm much more of a GM kind of player, so if I'm going to use an AR, it's not going to be getting many kills. But yeah, you can get stuff like Strategist, Jolt, and Feedback, really good roll. You can also get Attrition Orb, Jolt, and Feedback, great roll because they both synergize really well. And I think I have, yes, Eddy Current, Jolt, and Feedback. I don't think this one's too much, or it's not that worth it, but I wanted to keep it around. So if we go back here to Gravity Well, we already reviewed this one, was it? Nope, that was the second one I was going to. The Prosecutor, good PvE roll I have right here. Oh, that's actually a really good roll. So yeah, one of the main things that this is a pretty decent Prosecutor. I mean, you get eddy current for faster reloads when you have amplified, and I think it's just amplified or running. Volt Shot, you know, is good for ad clear. Attrition Orbs, pretty decent. Rolling Storm is a perk of all time, is what I'll say. I don't think it's worth it on primaries, and it's rough on anything else. Heavies, I think it's okay, but machine gun specifically. But anyways, this is a pretty good roll. What I wanted from Prosecutor, however, is this one here. Dragonfly Volt Shot. Now, this is really fun, you know, explosions and jolting, really fun. Still have Rolling Storm if I decide to keep this one over the other one. Flared Magwell, faster reloads for Volt Shot. You know, this is such a great roll. But yeah, those are the Prosecutors I've gotten. Now, Wilderflight was the one I was most excited for at the beginning when we saw the rolls for these weapons. Realistically, I haven't used it because, well, they're not meta right now. They're not great. They're fun. What is it? Double Envious Arsenal, double fire grenade launchers. So Wilderflight and Liturgy with a, you know, exotic, or I guess you could do either an Envious Arsenal rocket or Anarchy, you know, to just do damage rotations. It's fun. It's not really great right now, but I wanted to keep this roll, as well as it has Withering Gaze, which is something I liked or would have liked to have, and I do have it, so yay. The one thing I wish it had additionally was auto loading holster, just for like GMs and stuff. You know, maybe Withering auto loading holster for utility, really good roll, but didn't get that, and that's fine. I probably won't use it anyways. Now, for the last two energy slot weapons, Glaive, the Greasy Luck. Now, I thought Heal Clip was a bad idea on a Glaive, but I gotta be honest, it's not as bad as I thought. So, we got an 88 reload speed on this one, which is really nice. This is, of course, with the depth reload. But let's go to D2 Foundry. Alright, so, as you can see, it is a 2-second reload. That is pretty much the same reload as Rocket Sidearms. Or some of them. So honestly, it's not that detrimental. It feels fine. We can use this. It'll proc your, you know, heal clip. What does this do? Oh, well then that's even better. 1.57 reloads time. That is pretty good. If this is how I think it works. I mean, it's just a rapid fire glaive, right? So it's just active. But yeah. 1.6 seconds, let's say. That's good. Doesn't feel as awful as I would think glaives would feel to reload. I have another roll, but this one I'm really happy with. I wish I had light mag here instead of appended, but appended is not sacrificing reload speed, so I'm okay with that. And then if I want to go for a more shooting glaive style, as I melee quite a lot with this style, but if I want to go for a more shooting style, I can swap to extended mag, reconstruction, and redirection. So, you know, I have options with this glaive, and it's shiny, so of course I'm keeping it. Really, really solid roll. Have another one over here, also shiny with lead from gold. I just wanted a lead from gold option. Oh, and close to melee is good on glaives. We'll see how they feel next season as their melees are now changing to a unpowered melee. If these things make orbs, they will be really, really good. If they don't, they'll probably be in the same spot they are right now. Sword Logic, good swap for, you know, if I want to go more shooting, same thing here. I guess I have swap bag, I don't know. But, you know, I wanted to keep that roll pretty decent. And now another one of the most exciting weapons that everybody wanted is the Sudden Death. Now, I should probably show this one off specifically, as I got a shiny with Trench Barrel 1-2 Punch, Assault Mag, and Barrel Shroud. If it had handling, I would be the luckiest man alive, probably. As far as shotguns go, this is not the best for 1-2 Punch, but it's the first one to get this roll of 1-2 Punch plus Trench Barrel. So, of course, I wanted it. Now, as I am not a PvP Pro, if I really wanted to use a sudden death in PvP, I think Slide Shot Opening Shot is a good roll. I don't know if I want steady rounds, but if I really wanted it to use it in PvP, there you go. I definitely have better shotguns than this, though, for PvP. There's a couple other rolls I wanted for the shotgun, but I did bring it up in the videos, if I'm not mistaken. I wanted Discord Redirection, which I think is a really fun roll. I haven't used it, as you can tell, but we'll see. With the next season having Overload Shotgun, I might be using this a lot more than I currently am. And I also like that I have the destabilizing swap for, more ad clear. I don't think it's ideal, as if the volatile explosions kill the ad, I don't think it'll count for Discord. We'll have to see what happens there. Attack mag is nice, and yeah, I'm happy with this roll. We'll see how it does next season. And lastly, I guess I almost forgot about this one, is the long arm. Now, this gun I was the least enthusiastic about. I don't think it's good, but it has an interesting bug right now, as far as I understand. I don't know if it's patched yet, actually, but the point is that recycled energy interacts a lot different with long arm, as what it does is when you reload, it gives you energy to the least charged ability. So, it's okay. I think it gives, I don't know, I think it was like 3% or something like that. And with one reload giving you 3%, that feels really bad, doesn't it? However, recycled energy on long arm, as long arm reloads like one bullet at a time and reloads like many times, there's a weird interaction where it gives you energy per bullet that you load in. So that makes this feel a bit better. I don't think it's intended, probably isn't, but it's definitely worth considering. I wanted to keep it just for if it gets buffed, and Dragonflight is fun, but this weapon, I don't think it's particularly great. Now, lastly, going to, I forgot about this Wilderflight, the 0 power one that you get from the quest, keeping it for just the 0 power, honestly. I guess I do have auto-loading Withering Gaze in that one, so I guess I'm keeping it for more than just that. Cool. Now, lastly, the heavies. As you can see, there's not many heavies, realistically. There are only one really good one, and I think there are only 2 actual heavies in the whole event. But anyways, I'll go with Terminus Horizon first to, leave the suspense. This, I believe, is the only worth keeping roll for Terminus Horizon, Dragonfly Rolling Storm. Jolting Feedback is good, but I would much rather it on Watchful Eye, as, from my understanding, I could be wrong, you gotta hit 11 shots with a machine gun to proc Jolting Feedback, and that takes a while on Terminus Horizon, especially compared to Watchful Eye, which shoots, let's see, how much faster? 600 RPM versus 360. So it's a little under double. So it's a lot faster on Watchful Eye than it is in Terminus Horizon. So I don't think Jolting Feedback's worth it. But, you do you, I guess. Now, Dragonfly is probably my first pick on the third column. Just, explosions, they're fun. So, yeah, I kept that roll. It has all the stuff I really wanted. Flared is nice. Probably would have preferred a larger magazine as a swap, but this is fine. Realistically, I won't be using machine guns in endgame. I will not be using this one ever in endgame stuff, so it's fine as it is. Now then, for Cold Comfort. Unfortunately, there are no shinies. That's a normal one. And I kept this one specifically because of some weird interactions I've seen with Chill Clip. So, or specifically with the Shatter procced by a Chill Clip heavy weapon. So apparently, if you start a freeze, so you hit them with a rocket and then 2 shots of Tinashes, I think it takes, and you let the freeze break on its own, like when they're frozen, you let the shatter happen on its own, it does a lot of damage. So I wanted to keep this one around just in case that's actually meta, and there's a really niche scenario where I can only peek the boss like 2 or 3 seconds at most. This, could be something. Very big cope, I know, but I wanted it. Aside from that, I also have a bipod roll, as it's kind of the classic cold comfort, just firing a ton of rockets at once. I believe the old one is better for this, but I'm not willing to really farm the old version of Ghost of the Deep for it, and I don't think I'll be worse off not having that one than this one. I have my 2 god rolls, to be honest, or almost perfect 2 god rolls. I'm happy I got Velocity. I would have preferred Handling personally, but after looking at the numbers, it is actually 30 milliseconds, not 300. We're not talking about a third of a second. We're talking 30 milliseconds. So that's a 30th, if I'm doing the math right, of a second difference if I had a Handling Masterwork. And I don't think Velocity does much of a difference either. But at the end of the day, it's just cope. I'm just trying to keep myself calm for not getting Handling on this. Impact casing, important on rockets. Hard launch, really good option, as it makes your velocity faster, a lot faster, really. So hard launch, let's go. And then, of course, Elemental Honing Envious Arsenal, really good on Warlocks and Hunters, not as great on Titans. And now that Prismatic is going to be even less used on Titan, yeah, Elemental Honing is not so much for Titans. Which is why I got this one. This is almost the exact same roll, this time with a Reload Masterwork, which is even worse than Velocity. But this is as good as I've gotten farming a lot of Ghosts of the Deep. So, Envious Arsenal bait and switch with a Explosive Light swap if, you know, bait and switch and Elemental Honing got nerfed to the ground. Impact casing, hard launch, so really good rocket. I am satisfied with this. I wish I got a Handling or Velocity Masterwork, but this is satisfying enough for me. And yeah, those are all the rolls that I have for Rite of the Nine until now. So let me know what rolls you guys have gotten. Anything good, anything bad? Have you given up since these are not even going to be tier 5? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. And yeah, have a good one.